Hey amigas, welcome back to my channel. My name is Niobe for those of you who are new, and for all of my girlies returning. Hi friend, I definitely miss you guys, and I am so excited to talk about this topic today, especially because it is officially fall and we are in cuffing season. So today's topic is signs you are settling in a romantic situationship, relationship, whoever it is that's taking time and energy from you. That is today's topic, and it is because it is officially the fall season, which means it is officially cuffing season. We need to make sure that we are cuffed up with the right person. There are only 3 ways a relationship can go, and that is up, stagnant, or down. And for some of us, it can be super hard to let go, especially if you're a girly who likes to wear her rose-colored glasses and we think that everything will get better in time, but bitch, it doesn't. I'm here to tell y'all, it doesn't get better. Let go if you are settling in something that is not meant to be. I am a strong believer that there is always a price you will pay when you settle. I think most of us have experienced being with a partner that doesn't meet the requirements or criteria to even be dating us, talking to us, breathing in our direction, or even having our phone number. And as you get older, you start to ask yourself, why? Why do I tolerate behaviors that are not worth my time? Why am I tolerating behaviors that don't align with who I want to become? Picking the wrong partner is a form of self-sabotage. However, this has been the culture amongst women for the longest time. I mean, I think all of us can look back at our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, and have heard stories about the things they tolerated or have seen the things they have tolerated. That's why our grandmothers never left their cheating husbands. Our mothers are narcissistic boyfriends. Because older generations were taught to withstand the bare minimum and put on their rose-colored glasses because the world kept telling them that that's what they should expect from their man, because that is what quote-unquote men do. Another common phrase I have heard when it comes to dealing with men is that you're going to deal with issues anyways regarding a man. Don't you think these issues are better rather than finding out later you could be dealing with a different man with worse issues? Mind you, just because I am talking about men doesn't mean that the man is always the one women are settling for. Sometimes the men are settling for women. If so, take this video as a sign to work on yourself. If you or your partner are having troubles connecting in the relationship, or even like with yourself or themselves, that's a major sign you guys are settling. Honestly, such a bad feeling being connected to a partner who lacks an emotional connection, because it does affect the dynamic of the relationship. I have literally experienced this before with a man where he will shut down when things get too emotional, things get too real. And it's honestly such an uneasy feeling to experience, because, you know, as a woman, you kind of like look to your man to be like the rock. So when things go left and he kind of like has like not a meltdown, but like either has a meltdown in a way where he shuts down and that's his meltdown, that's a huge red flag. That tells you right there that he has a lot to work on, and there is nothing you can do if he is not ready. I feel like for me as a woman, that didn't work for me. I generally felt like, okay, I don't have time to go through this with you again. I told you how it made me feel. I told you that that's something you need to work on. Obviously, you need to take your time off. Who am I to rush you? But being in a relationship with you is not something that's in the cards for me and what I have planned for my life. And until you open up or go see a therapist, I cannot be around. I cannot continue to invest myself because it's disappointing. And it literally, as a woman, is gonna, if you haven't already experienced this, it's gonna make you feel like, damn, like, okay, so next time I have something on my heart that I want to talk about, he is not going to be ready, or he is going to just shut down. So now I have to like walk on eggshells. We're adults. We need to be having an adult conversation. And if you can't do that, sorry, bud. Sorry. It's okay if your partner has things they're going through, trauma they're resolving. What's not okay is sitting on it and not doing anything about it, and then later it snowballs. In order to be with someone who loves to grow, you need to be comfortable with that. You need to be comfortable with taking up space and talking about what's going on with you and wanting to put your best foot forward. Side note, something I like to remind myself when I am, you know, dealing with someone in a relationship, talking heavy, whatever, when I see flags and it's like I don't want to see them, I'm like this. I'm like, no, I don't, no, it can't be real. No, he just seems so perfect. Always love to remind myself what life would be like if I never left my first boyfriend, my second boyfriend, my third, the guy I talked to back in 2020. And then I realized the importance of letting go. You need to be able to let go to keep evolving. If you get into the habit of never letting go of your old toys, of situations that just do not fit you anymore, you are gonna be stuck chasing your own tail. Look, my dog is having the time of her life back there. I just gave her some salmon in a bowl. That's why she's walking around like she just had the best meal of her life. Because she did. Because I cooked it. Another sign you are settling is if this is something that feels like it is in your comfort zone, like what you've experienced from any past relationships or even all the way back to your childhood. For example, a lot of us fall prey to narcissists because we grew up in an environment with narcissistic caregivers or raised by parents who never resolve their own traumas, which then get carried into their children, aka us. There are so many requirements myself and my partner need to meet before we take the next step and say I do and commit to a child. And I need to make sure that the man I choose is the right man, because it is an honor to have a man's child. Okay, so he needs to get with the program, and if not, he will not get that privilege. You want to make sure that you are reflecting throughout the relationship, and this can be how you feel around them with time, because that can change for better or for worse. And you also want to think about whether there are any unhealthy patterns that consistently show up, because those are definitely going to be your core issues and something you all need to navigate. I feel like a lot of people stay within their comfort zones because of codependency, which stems from childhood. Codependency can make your partner feel overwhelmed and feel like they're your crutch, like they're taking care of a child, a baby. And girl, at the speed we want to go at, you can't afford to be someone's crutch. It sounds so draining, and that's why I've always been a firm believer that as a woman, you need to make sure that you are getting your alone time and you're comfortable with your alone time, and also making sure that you are independent, you have your finances together or you're getting them together, you have your own career, just really building your own life. It is completely okay to be there for someone during hard times, but if they're constantly in a hard time, and I think we all know people like this, you need to be super careful. I'm sure we know girlfriends like this. I used to have a few girlfriends I knew that were always going through something, and that was because of their decisions, which is a conversation for another day. But if they're constantly in a situation, I think that is definitely something you need to take a step back from, especially if it's your partner and it seems to be consistent, because you don't want to constantly feel like you're playing superhero to someone who needs to level up. So the third sign you're settling is that you keep experiencing emotional immaturity. One of the most unsatisfying experiences you can ever give yourself in a relationship is being with a partner who lacks the ability of being present in the relationship. They lack emotional awareness and dodge serious conversations, downplay situations or even problems. They lash out, or what I like to call it, they are very reactive to you whenever it's time to have a serious conversation. Like, girl, you're gonna be so mad at yourself if years from now you're dealing with the same guy with the same antics when you could literally be dating other suitors, getting to know other amazing men who buy you flowers every week or once a month. Maybe I'm doing too much with the every week. I don't know, because I get flowers pretty often. You are going to be so mad at yourself for settling for such poor behavior that will only get worse with time. Mind you, just because you check it doesn't always mean it gets better. That's always the man's decision. You can never make a man do anything. And I beg, if you have children, it is so important to raise them correctly, treat them right, be a present mother and father, show up to their games, be there for them. Like, don't have kids unless you're ready. Like, financially be there, have that intact. Like, be emotionally available. Make sure you go to therapy before you bring children into this world. I feel like the most common sign you are settling in a relationship is when you constantly try to fix your partner. And child, one thing my dad has always told me is that you cannot change a person, man or woman. The honest truth is that if the man or woman does not value themselves, they will not value the relationship. I mean, like, think deep. If they do not have a sense of self, a sense of connection with God, core values, or even an inner compass, is literally going to drive you insane, because there's absolutely nothing you can do about this. Sure, you can influence them to be better people. Sure, you can influence them to go to church with you and do all these amazing things, but at the core of it all, if they do not want to change, it's gonna show. You know, some people do things in order to make their partners happy, and that's not what you want in a relationship. You want someone who likes to do the things that you expect out of a partner because they generally want that for themselves. If you get stuck in the process of trying to fix people, you're gonna end up mothering them, smothering them, and just feeling so like not yourself because you're now playing this mentor-like role. And that type of dynamic with men and women, I feel like in a romantic relationship, just don't work. And remember, you want a man, not a boy. You want a husband, not a son. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Familia and follow me on Instagram. And I'll talk to you girlies very soon. Bye.